Have you ever wondered which nation will shape the destiny of the 21st century? America or China? As we look across the Pacific, beyond the headlines and sound bites, an epic contest is unfolding. One whose outcome may define not just this century, but the lives of generations to come. This is not just a rivalry, it is a battle for influence, innovation, and economic supremacy that will resonate across the globe. So, what exactly is at stake in this ongoing struggle between two giants? To truly understand the contours of this rivalry, we must first look back through history. The United States emerged as a global power in the aftermath of World War II, with its economy booming and its military unmatched. The Marshall Plan helped rebuild Europe, and the U.S. established itself as a bastion of democracy and capitalism. Meanwhile, the Cold War, characterized by ideological battles and military standoffs, shaped international relations for decades. This period led to an era of American dominance, where the United States not only held significant military power but also wielded influence on cultural and technological fronts, setting the standard for global governance. In stark contrast, for much of the 20th century, China grappled with internal strife and foreign domination. From the Opium Wars to imperialist exploitation, the Chinese people faced hardships that deeply affected their national psyche. However, the late 20th century marked a transformative period as China began to open its economy under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping. This shift spurred a remarkable economic growth trajectory, lifting millions out of poverty and positioning China as a formidable player on the global stage. By the early 21st century, it was clear China was no longer a sleeping giant. It had awakened, and its ascent was reshaping the balance of power in the world. As both nations vie for dominance, they do so across multiple arenas: military, economic, technological, and geopolitical. Picture this: the South China Sea, rich in resources and strategic trade routes, is a key flashpoint for military rivalry. Here, the U.S. conducts freedom of navigation operations, while China asserts its territorial claims through military installations. This isn't merely a contest over water, it's a demonstration of power and resolve. Economically, the stakes are even higher. The trade war that erupted in recent years saw tit-for-tat tariffs, disrupting global supply chains and raising prices for consumers and businesses alike. But what if these economic tensions provide a glimpse into an emerging decoupling of two of the world's largest economies? Businesses grow increasingly wary of relying on each other as both Washington and Beijing negotiate competitive advantages. Technologically, we find ourselves in an arms race for the 21st century. China's push for advancements in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and 5G technology rivals the United States' historical technological edge. Companies like Huawei symbolize this fierce competition. As more technology becomes pivotal in everyday life, the implications for privacy, security, and economic relationships ripple outwards. Geopolitics play a significant role as well. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's ambitious plan to enhance trade connections across Asia, Europe, and beyond, effectively expanding its influence. Meanwhile, the United States reassures its allies through partnerships like AUKUS and strengthens its position in the Indo-Pacific region. As nations around the world watch closely, they face a tense choice: align with the US or the rising power of China. Yet, rivalry often brings risks of conflict, and several flashpoints could ignite tensions into outright confrontations. Taiwan stands as a particularly poignant symbol. What if China attempts to reunify Taiwan by force? The military response from the US could be catastrophic and lead to a war that many fear could escalate into a larger conflict. Similarly, the South China Sea remains a volatile area where skirmishes could quickly spiral out of control. Imagine a maritime incident between US and Chinese vessels. one moment of misunderstanding could trigger a much larger confrontation. Furthermore, the ongoing trade wars, while economic in nature, have political ramifications that could heighten tensions and lead to severe conflict. But what if there were another way? What if the two nations recognize the value of coexistence? Imagine a world where the US and China, while competing, could also collaborate on global challenges like climate change and pandemics. The potential exists for interdependence where both nations thrive, despite their differences. However, history reminds us that ideologies can harden, and a new Cold War could arise, reminiscent of the ideological battles of the past, further fragmenting the world into opposing camps. Alternatively, a direct confrontation remains a looming threat, as strained diplomacy may result in permanent fractures. In this scenario, what if regional allies are forced to choose sides? The consequences could ripple through global markets and international relations, leading to a standoff that could inhibit progress in countless fields, leaving humanity to grapple with the fallout of a divided world. As we gaze into the future, several paths emerge, each shaped by the choices made today by leaders and citizens alike. Will the US and China find a way to coexist, or will the lure of competition push them into a cycle of mutual destruction? As we navigate this complex landscape, one thing is clear: our interconnected world hangs in the balance. The outcome of this rivalry will set the tone for diplomatic relations, economic collaborations, and security alliances worldwide. As we consider these possibilities, we must understand the stakes involved, not just for the US and China, but for all of humanity. The question remains, who will dominate the 21st century? It's a question that invites further reflection. What type of world do we want to create? A world of rivalry and division, or one of cooperation and shared goals? Only time will provide the answers, but the choices of today will ripple into tomorrow.